I think this is something that I'd like to hear from everybody on is if you could change one thing about the Austin game development community, what would it be? We'll start with Harvey.
That's a good question. Let's see. What would I change about Austin game development? I think if I could wave a magic wand and change anything, it would be that the local universities have a stronger program for game design and game technology, because then we'd have many more clubs and casual groups forming to make small games, and there would constantly be this pool to draw from internships. There'd be college professors in town teaching who had been in the industry for years, and I know there's some of that for sure, but we don't yet have like a Carnegie Mellon, what is it called, Entertainment Technology Center. We don't have something at that level, and I think that's a shame. So if I could change anything, it would be that.
Raphael?
Yeah, it's a hard question. Yeah, education would be great, but more programmers. We've been struggling for programmers, so.
I'm with you on that one.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's a pretty good community, other than the programmers, which are missing.
In related news, I'm looking for client programmers.
Honestly, I wish all the office space wasn't up at 183 and 360 area. Like, I wish more of it was on, more of it on the east side, more of it downtown. You know, I mean, if you're gonna be in Austin, why not be in Austin?
If they put it in public transit, I'm with you. Until then, I-35 is a disaster zone. Max?
I feel like I should try and say something really profound, but I'm not going to even try, because I could not agree more with you. That I think that, you know, one of the biggest hurdles for us is that the education system for game developers of all sorts in Austin, it's just lacking. It's not where it needs to be. Austin is not turning out the types of candidates that, frankly, are hireable from our standards. We certainly try. We're trying to be more involved in helping to improve the quality of some of the programs, but it hasn't happened yet. You know, we're not turning out Guildhall type candidates and whatnot. And I think if I could change one thing, it would make my business a lot easier, because it's expensive to relocate people and hire from out of state and everything else. So that would be a big deal.
Okay, Todd?
I like Austin Film Studios to go ahead and set aside some area in their space for an incubator for new indie game companies. You can actually, with a team of like 4 really dedicated people, they can do some pretty cool stuff, whereas it's really hard on the film side to gain traction. So I'd like to see the same kind of focus and emphasis that's placed on film, you know, some of that shared over with the game space. I'm just saying.
Did I mention that Gordon Walton and I are working on the incubator?
That would be awesome.
Okay.
No, you didn't.
Oh.
Tell me more.
I will after this. Colin?
I think the thing I would like the most is just more venues where the Austin game developers can get together and just talk to each other. And there was a thing a couple years ago where Sony had a PlayStation 3 developer conference, and they had it at their studio here in Austin that was making DC Online. And one thing that I thought was really fun was after we were done, or during breaks, we were going around and we were playing DC Online, and we were talking, and I made friends with some guys from the studio there, and it was just a really cool way to meet some other people from the industry here, which sometimes can be kind of tough. But I may be not going to all the events that IGDA is putting on.
Okay, Ryan?
Boy, I'm really struggling to come up with something, but the first thing that floats to the top that wasn't already mentioned is, and again, this is sort of minor, is that for the small companies that are starting, it would be nice if they could find, if we had more venture capitalist money here, more money for the small guys here in Austin, because I think one of the challenges if you're starting something from the ground up and you need money and you're planning to operate quick and lean, people end up going to the West Coast or to the East Coast or to where most of the money is. Certainly there's some here, but by and large, people end up talking to money outside of Austin, and that can make communication difficult. Those people oftentimes want to work with people that are close to them, that are local to them. They don't want to have to fly out to Austin to talk to you face to face. So I guess struggling, I would say, yeah, if we could have more capital here and grow that, if that community could grow itself, I guess. I don't know how we do it. But if there were people here that were available, it would make it that much easier for the homegrown studios to take foothold.
Okay, Damien?
I'd put myself in charge of a major studio. No, seriously, personally what I would like to see is less fatalism in this room, like in this community as a whole, of people who are like, oh, I lost my job, oh, this project got canceled, oh, this studio got shut down, it's the end of the world, this industry sucks. We're in a cutthroat industry. We are taking chances, doing creative things. Creative things have a high chance of failure. Sometimes you do stuff and it's just not fun. Some of those things that were flushed down the toilet shouldn't have been. A lot of them should have been. It is a very Darwinistic world. At the end of the day, we are making toys for a living. I mean, we are doing things and making fun, and people are giving us this gift of their free time, which is the most precious thing in the world to them, and it is a blessing to us that we get to do this and get paid for it. And every now and then there's going to be stumbles. Every now and then studios are going to die. New studios are going to come up in their place. Everybody talks about how miserable last year was. Well, look at what we did last year. I mean, this is a lot of big titles that came out. Cheer the hell up, guys. Just overall, we are blessed.
Well, I don't
And
know about
I have
big.
to say
You were big. We were cute.
we
Star Wars.
Darksiders.
I have to say I completely agree with Damien. When Raph and I started Dishonored, 3 years ago, I had just gone through a major crash that was very high profile with Midway, and I was the poster child for that crash, and it was not pleasant, let me tell you. And Raph's history with running Arkane and being the creative guy there and also the business guy, there had been many near successes, right? Like there have been many down moments. It was touch and go at times, and yet when we started Dishonored, we said early on, like, guys, our goal here is a 90% rated game that wins Game of the Year. And some of the people on our team were like, yeah, that sounds great. And some of the people were like, are they kidding? Could they possibly be serious? And we were like, yeah, we're totally serious. Like, but what happened with your last project? Well, what happened with 2 projects before that? We did really well. So I think both of us have had that moment. Like, Raph made Arx Fatalis. That was his dream game. And it was like just a cult classic. Like every developer who likes a certain kind of game will tell you about their experience playing Arx. Working with Warren and a group of people here in Austin, we made Deus Ex. Like my friend Starlong made Ultima Online. I know all of these people who have, like, at one point or another, everything's come together for them, and it changes your worldview. And then what has to happen is, if you fail after that, if you completely crash, you get fired, you get publicly humiliated, for instance, whatever. You then have to realize that you're not any given point on the sine wave. You're the entire arc. You're going to have highs and lows. Every creative industry. It's I'm an advocate of a good company culture where people have time for their families and their lives and go mountain biking, all the stuff that we love to do. But I'm always amazed when people are like, we might have to work some overtime, really? And I'm like, man, if you made a movie, if you wrote a novel, if you wanted to be the best skateboarder in the world, whatever you want to do at any level of excellence, you're going to take risks, you're going to work hard, you're going to fail a number of times before you succeed. So that is an entirely healthy thing that it didn't occur to me, but it's been such a background at Austin. It feels to me that there are a lot of cynical developers. There are a lot of optimists as well. But it's like, be ambitious, go big, think that you can do it, dream, And that was just a really good point. I just wanted to agree with it.
Okay, thank you guys.